Alright, before we get into the video, I have an announcement. This will be my first video made for YouTube. Originally, I started out on TikTok, but due to the possibility that TikTok would be banned at the time, I decided to branch out to YouTube. And now that the ban has been passed, it seems I made a good choice. So that means I will try my best to make longer and more engaging content. I will continue to post on TikTok until it goes belly up. Also, I'd like to say thank you for all the support on YouTube. You all tuning in has made my decision to put YouTube first for uploads. So again, thank you, and let's get into the video. Now, we have one or two unpopular opinions, even when it comes to movies. So for this video, I'm going to give my opinion on popular movies that I think are overrated. So sharpen your pitchforks and light your torches. Some of you are not going to like what I have to say. Avengers Endgame. Now, why do I think this movie is overrated? Well, for starters, the ending sucked. I'm sorry, there's no two ways to look at it. It just sucked. I mean, like, Tony dies, and then Captain America, he just leaves and goes off. One thing that does kill me, even though he left to go stay with Peggy, was in Captain America Winter Soldier, how he told Bucky he would stay with him until the end of the line, and then at the end he just vamoosed. I mean, I understand it was Cap's decision, he's his own free man, I understand that, but just that, and then this, I don't know, just the ending wasn't good. Not to mention, you have that part during the fight scene where all the women huddle around like Peter Parker's like, women moment. That was cringe in my opinion. Trust me, forgive me, I'm getting mixed up. There are a lot of scenes out there in movies that, make women more powerful without having to be cringe like that. But they did it anyways. To be honest, we were so distraught with the ending, we thought the Skywalker saga was actually good. But then when you go to look on the internet and people point out blatant flaws in the Star Wars sequel series, you're like, well, damn, we were wrong. But yeah, that's it. Just the ending of Endgame is what really put me off of the whole movie entirely. So, I don't know. Next movie, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Now, before you start roasting me, I enjoyed the first one. The first one was good in my opinion. I had no problems with it. Second one, however, I just really wasn't into it. I sat down watching the entire movie and I was just sitting there just like, I was so unenthusiastic, don't know if that's a word, but we'll try it, by it. I just was not captivated by the film at all. I know that's a bad thing to say about a Spider-Man movie, because most Spider-Man movies are usually top notch, but Into the Spider-Verse just really wasn't all that for me. Really wasn't exciting and stuff. It had exciting stuff in it, but it did not, captivate me. I was not enthralled by the movie. I was just sitting there like Gru's mom. That's it. Just, that's just it. All right, another movie, Transformers: Rise of the Beast. When we first got this movie, on the front of the DVD case, it said, one of the best Transformers movies ever. That is a lie. The best Transformers movie ever, in my opinion, was the original 1986 cartoon. I mean, there is no disputing that. That is one of the best Transformers movies out there. Now, why I didn't like this one, again, I really wasn't enthralled by it, just captivated by it at all. Just meh. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Mirage, he was funny. But, I mean, even the final battle towards the end wasn't really all that. I mean, I guess because it had, hold on. I'm getting mixed up here. I thought that since, have Unicron and the Maximals, be, oh, wow. But I really didn't sit down and was like, wow, by it. I mean, to be honest, probably wouldn't help that we've done seeing Unicron 3 times already beforehand in the G1 cartoon, Transformers Prime, and Transformers Last Night. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather prefer Last Night over Rise of the Beasts. I know, who am I? Blasphemy. But that's just my opinion on it. Not to mention the part where Noah's mom's over here telling him to laugh at the white people's jokes because they'll like it. I found that kind of ridiculous as well. To be honest, the movie kind of felt like a bit of a racial jab. If you ask me, not anything like Transformers. That's the one thing I dislike about all live action Transformers movies. There's always too much of the human element there. Don't get me wrong. When done correctly, it's great. Done poorly, you got stuff like Transformers Energon. That series sucked in my opinion. I remember the kid Kicker in there. My gosh, we were all hoping he'd screw up some way and then he'd just be disappeared vamoose. We wouldn't have to listen to him complain anymore. But no, we were graced with his presence throughout the entirety of the series. So yeah. Alright, now time for another movie. Puss in Boots and the Last Wish. I feel like I'm touching some nerves with this one. Long story short, this movie is just entirely overrated. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Please don't misunderstand me. I mean, it's a decent movie, okay, but it is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, everybody made such a stink about this movie on the internet. I was waiting for like, ooh, we're going to be blown away. So we sat down, watched the thing. Yeah, no. It just wasn't it. It was not all that, as people said. It wasn't the greatest thing ever. And like I said, overrated. I mean, this thing was so overrated, my sister was like, oh my gosh, really? It's so overrated. I mean, she will stand by her statement that is one of a few films she finds overrated as crap. And well, I can't disagree with her. It was overrated. And to be honest, I sat there and just like, I know some of you are like, what, have you no soul? I do have a soul. It's just, that wasn't all that. I mean, there are numerous things I have cried over when watching. You have Avatar The Last Airbender, where Iroh was having a memorial for his son. That was heartbreaking. Ghostbusters Afterlife, where, they say goodbye to Egon at the end, and then he passed on. Up, that movie's a heartbreak and a half, I'll tell you. There's one more. Just remembered. You had the Bluey episode, The Sign. I mean, that part, it was like a joyful sad, but it still made me cry. I didn't know cartoons had the power to make people cry like that. But to be honest, I felt really nothing in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. And yet I can watch Cars 5 times over and I'm still like, whoa, Lightning McQueen. Yeah. Alright, final movie I'm about to diss. The second Suicide Squad. I'm sorry. That one is not better than the first one. In my opinion, the first one is better. Now, please understand. I can understand everybody's distaste for Jared Leto as the Joker. Completely understand that. But move that out the way. The movie itself is, pretty good. Second one, to be honest, to me, it feels like it tries too hard to be funny. Not to mention, it was overly gruesome, in my opinion. Just, ugh. I just don't know. It's a little creepy at times too. It was not an upgrade compared to the first one. It was not. It was a downgrade in my opinion. I know some of you are gonna be mad about that, but it was. I mean, and hey, remember, these are just my opinion. If you like these movies, good for you. You either have better taste than me, or I've just gotten older and just, not that impressed anymore. Maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But, I asked some of my siblings and on some of the movies that I'm talking about here, and they're like, yeah, to be honest, we feel the same about you. So I might not be the only one. So, I mean, you know. So these are my overrated movies that I find overrated. And well, that's enough out of me. I probably pissed off a few people. And if you have any thoughts or opinions or topics you want me to discuss, drop a comment. But with that, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.